Welcome to the show, guys. Got an exciting one here for you. I'm talking about 5 running backs I love for fantasy football 2022. Guys, I'm going to be looking to roster. Guys, I'm going to be looking to target. Guys, I'm looking to draft this season with very little bit of headache attached to them. So there's minimal committee, huge opportunity, and tons of ceiling. So 5 running backs I love for fantasy football 2022. Now, if you are new to the channel, I see my analytics, guys. The analytics are good. Numbers are good. I see a lot of people following the channel and subscribed. There's a lot of people watching the videos who haven't subscribed. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button because this will help you guys crush your leagues. There's no question about it, okay? This is not the mainstream narrative. This is good advice, amazing advice, and winning advice. So make sure you guys subscribe. And secondly, guys, I'm wearing the t-shirt because I got to represent the draft solution, video training, optimal players draft in each round with notes, sleepers, breakouts, everything you need to crush your league. Who is that rookie you need to draft in later rounds? I'll tell you who it is. Who's the guy you got to draft in the first round? I'll tell you who it is. Who do I avoid? I'll tell you who it is. Everything in the 16-round draft, so you can get it below. Use code TUBE20. That's TUBE20. Save yourself 20%. Or just Google 16-round draft solution. Watch, learn, experiment, try something new, guys. Experience 16 rounds. If you're coming back, get ready to win yet again because everybody that gets it wins or at least places in the top 3 or 4. I have testimonials. This works, guys. And I appreciate it if you guys dive in and experience it as well. Okay, guys, you guys will definitely be very happy, all right? Draft kits are dead. Magazines are dead. 16 rounds is the solution. Get it below. All right, so let's dive into this, guys. Again, leave that thumbs up. Really helps the channel. Smash thumbs up. Takes a second of your time. It really helps, okay? First running back I love, okay? Now, there is a bunch of rookies I love as well. Didn't really dive into that too much here. I may give you a bonus one here. Let's do that. Let's give you a bonus or two. Some of the rookies I love as well. So let's go over the 5 I love, and we'll throw some rookies in there as well. First one, it's pretty obvious here, is Najee Harris. Now, last year I just saw a post I did. This is funny. I'm going to share with you guys some comments. I'm doing story time with the counselor too on this show. So let's dive into story time here with you guys. So there was a post I did last year. I'm just pulling it up in my story mode because I posted it. And if you're not following Instagram, go follow Instagram at Fantasy Football Counselor, okay? Let me show this to you guys right here. If you guys can zoom in. It doesn't really focus here on the camera because it's kind of focusing on me. That's what this camera does. It focuses on the person. But it says draft Najee Harris ahead of the 4 below in fantasy. And I had a picture of Dalvin Cook. I had a picture of Alvin Kamara, Austin Eckler, Nick Chubb. Now, even prior to the season last year, I said that Najee Harris will finish with more fantasy points than Christian McCaffrey. People thought I was crazy. They're like, how could you put him ahead of guys like Dalvin Cook, guys like Nick Chubb, guys like Alvin Kamara? How could you do that? And some of the comments, this was back in June 2021, guys, on this post here. It won't let me zoom in. And some of the comments were this. And the guy I'm talking about was Najee. Please don't listen to him, guys, one guy says. I said, get off my page. And then I just went back to that post from June 2021 and said, apologize to this guy. Another guy says, coldest take I've ever seen. Another guy says, what the hell? Another says, someone screenshot this. It's like, okay, how do I unfollow, right? You need counseling. The fact that all I said, guys, was Najee Harris was going to finish top and beat guys like Dalvin Cook and Christian McCaffrey. People thought I was crazy. So now everybody's riding Najee Harris. So when I say that there's a running back I love in Najee Harris, people are going to say to me, well, Joe, that's obvious. You know, you love him because everyone else loves him. Well, I loved him first. Okay, so why do I love Najee Harris, guys? It's very simple. It's very simple to me, guys. Volume is key, and youth is key as well. Now, I will make a note here that there could be a possible regression in his receptions. The guy had 94 targets for 74 receptions last year. That could decline, okay? Because, again, Kenny Pickett, I still think Kenny Pickett, I think he's the upside quarterback. Trubisky, not so much. So there is a bit of a turnoff there when it comes to quarterback. But the turn on is the fact that he's going to be on the field all of the time. So predicate on goal line work, volume, opportunity, running on a little bit on the outside, catching some balls here. I think Najee Harris is still going to continue to thrive. I think he gets better. So there's a lot of pluses. The only negative here is the fact that the quarterback situation is suspect because Big Ben likes to throw him a lot of targets, 94, okay? So I'm expecting a possible decline in that. Maybe it's an incline. We don't know. But at the end of the day, Najee Harris, the volume guy, absolutely love him. Now, he is coming off pretty high, obviously. He's coming off the first top 5, top 6 picks. But you're going to see guys like Christian McCaffrey and possibly Austin Eckler come off ahead of him in PPR. Now, I usually talk 1-point PPR if you guys follow my channel. Always talk at 1-point PPR, the most popular platform. But he is coming off top 5 picks. Last year, I was getting him in the second round. You guys were too if you got 16 rounds. So you got to know where the value is this year, and I explained that in 16-round draft solution, all right? So I love Najee Harris still. I mean, there was this video. People keep asking me. He was partying in Mexico, drunk, zooming in on chicks in his story mode live. And I don't know whether the partying is going to be a factor. I don't think so. I think he's focused. I think he's going to come out and do well this year. I'm not going to even consider that because, again, it's Najee Harris. He's focused. Did well last year. He's the guy. So I love him. Love him for fantasy. Definitely, probably first overall this year, guys. Okay? All right, let's go to the second guy here, Derrick Henry. Absolutely love this guy. I love him as a talent. I don't know him personally, but I know people that know him personally. Like at the end of the day, the guy is focused. Okay, so that's one thing I love about Derrick Henry is the amount of focus. Right now, he did get hurt last year. Played 8 games. Now I keep talking about this. People I may sound like a broken record, but that's okay. Derrick Henry is due for a bounce back. Now, he did play 8 games last year. Listen to this. He finished number 10 in rushing attempts with 219. He had more rushing attempts in 8 games than Jacobs did in 15 games, than Sony Michel did in 17 games, that Elijah Mitchell did in 11 games, than Austin Eckler did in 16 games. So Austin Eckler played 16 games, had 206 rushing attempts. Derrick Henry had 219 rushing attempts in 8 games. So the point I'm trying to make is when I say I'm fading Eckler, that's one of the reasons why I fade Eckler. By the way, Eckler's coming off this astronomical pinnacle year. We had 12 rushing touchdowns. He didn't even achieve that in the first 3 or 4 years of himself playing. He had 9 touchdowns in 4 years. He finally gets this 12 touchdown season. Everyone's I'm not sold on Eckler, right? He's going to decline. But I want to talk a little bit about Derrick Henry here and the 219 attempts, putting him top 10 in rushing attempts amongst running backs. Again, more than James Conner, more than Javonte, more than Melvin, more than Chuba, more than Aaron Jones, more than everybody last year, almost, except for 10 guys. Now, when I look at him from rushing yards, Derrick Henry in 8 games was number 9 amongst running backs from rushing yards, 937. I mean, I don't even know how to tell you this, but that's phenomenal. I don't even know what words to describe how amazing that is. The man played 8 games and finished top 9 amongst running backs, beating guys like Melvin Gordon, Austin Eckler, Javonte Williams, Alvin Kamara, Josh Jacobs, David Montgomery, Leonard Fournette, A.J. Dillon, Aaron Jones, James Robinson, James Conner, and on and on and on and on and on. Okay, number 9 in rushing attempts, okay? It gets better. Derrick Henry finished top 6 in rushing touchdowns, and he played 8 games. He had 10 rushing touchdowns. More than Nick Chubb, more than Josh Jacobs, and on and on and on. More than Najee Harris. Najee Harris only had, 7 rushing touchdowns. So, Derrick Henry finished 6th. 6th in rushing touchdowns. And he played 8 games. What's the point of all this, Joe? Why are you telling me all this? It's because I love Derrick Henry. He is a rare breed. Not only in talent, but the fact that he's got no committee. He is the man. So, when I'm looking at first overall pick, it's going to be very hard for me to pass on Derrick Henry. Absolutely love him. Love the talent, love the focus, love the ability, and love that smash mouth power. Love the pure power and the ability. Well, you say, well, Joe, you play 1-point PPR. Why do you like Derrick Henry? I don't care. He makes up what he doesn't get in receptions. He can catch the ball. Don't sleep on him catching the ball. He can still catch the ball. What he makes up he makes up in lack of receptions. He makes it up in rushing yards and rushing touchdowns. So Derrick Henry, absolutely phenomenal. Now, he did have 18 receptions for 154 yards. Not bad for a guy who runs a lot and gets a lot of touchdowns. So Derrick Henry, absolutely love him. Okay. Now, I'm not going to get into why I like these guys, Najee and Henry, ahead of Taylor too much, rather than the fact that Taylor is due for a slight decline. They brought in Philip Lindsay, new offense. Matt Ryan throws a lot. other various reasons. I still like Jonathan Taylor. I think he's a great talent, but such a pinnacle year regression coming. Another running back I love here, absolutely love him this year, and you guys are going to get upset because he busted last year, but that's okay. The guy is Saquon Barkley. Why do I love Saquon Barkley, guys? It's very, very simple. This isn't, rocket science. The guy is due for a contract year, and he's value. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I did a mock draft yesterday. The guy fell to the third round. We're talking zero committee here. Absolutely zero committee. We're talking contract year. The guy needs to perform. This isn't like, hey, I got to come out and maybe I'll dabble or maybe I'll just take a few snaps here and there. No, he has to do well. He was preserved last year. They put in Booker and gave him a lot of volume because they knew they weren't going to make the playoffs so that Saquon Barkley could be preserved. They didn't want to get him hurt again. And they worked him enough so he can get his comfort level back, but not to the point where they're going to run him into the ground. They need him this year. They want to do well. Daniel Jones needs to do well. This offense needs to do well. And Saquon Barkley is the focal point. Absolutely love the value. Currently sitting 14th amongst running backs in PPR. Nick Chubb's ahead of him. He's got Kareem Hunt there. Aaron Jones ahead of him on the rankings, on the sheep rankings, with A.J. Dillon there, who had more attempts than Aaron Jones. How does that make any logical sense? Javonte Williams ahead of him with Melvin Gordon breathing down his neck. DeAndre Swift is ranked ahead of him, and he only had, 140, 150 attempts. He's not a big volume guy, DeAndre Swift. Dalvin Cook's ahead of him, and Dalvin Cook doesn't finish the season himself. So I don't know what to tell you, but Saquon Barkley's in a prime position to succeed, and he is immense value. I absolutely love him for this season. That's it. That's all I got to tell you, period. All right? Next guy here. Now, there's a bunch of running backs I love, but again, it's very rare that I love running backs too much. But I love this guy based on value this year. And the guy I'm talking about is Zeke Elliott, who almost always finishes top 10. Now, Zeke Elliott right now is sitting 19th on the consensus rankings. Here's what I love about Zeke Elliott. Now, what I don't love, let's go over what I don't love. The fact that he's been regressing every single year, which is good news for us if we're looking at drafting him in the third round, which is where he's falling. Zeke Elliott last year finished 6th amongst running backs with 205 points, over 1,000 yards with 1,002 yards, 10 touchdowns, 4.2 yards per carry on 237 attempts. Now, what the problem is over the past couple of years is that his attempts have been significantly dropping every year. In 2018, he had 304 attempts. 2019, 301. That's good. We want the 300 attempts. Then a significant drop-off in 2020 with 244 attempts, and then a more of a drop-off in 2021 with 237 attempts. So he's hovering in and around 230 to 245 rushing attempts, which is lower from his previous years in 2018 and 2019 where he had around 300 attempts. But why do I love him? Because he's safe. He's slow and steady, wins the race. He's that guy that stays healthy and continues to plug away offensively and is going to consistently finish top 10, and you can get him in the third round. So after you've gone Najee or Henry or Taylor or Mixon and then Javonte round 2 or Saquon round 2, you can get yourself Derrick Henry as your RB3 as part of a robust RB strategy, and he could definitely finish top 10. So not necessarily do I love him like I think there's a huge ceiling. I don't think so. I don't think there's a huge ceiling with Zeke Elliott. I think what you see is what you get. But what I'm getting is a third round steal I'm paying really nothing to get a top 10 running back who is a workhorse. I mean, Pollard is there. There's no denying it. But there's tons of other running backs with committees as well. Another option as well, and I absolutely love him as well, I'm going to give you a bonus here, is Breece Hall. Breece Hall, talent-wise, amazing, but will he get the volume? And Michael Carter is there. But Breece Hall is another great value round 3 or 4, okay? Just to let you know, there's a bonus there for you, okay? So Zeke Elliott, I absolutely love him this year. I think the talent is there. I think the opportunity is there, and I think the volume will be there for him, okay? Let me give you another guy here that I absolutely love this year. Again, he's value. He's sitting 16th amongst running backs, and you can get his guy late second, early third. Probably sometime, I'd say late second, early third. David Montgomery. Now, David Montgomery, here's the deal, guys. He was hindered last year because there was Nagy. Nagy was a guy that, ever since Montgomery's career, has hindered his performance. Bringing in Tariq Cohen at times where he got really going and stuff like that, right? Had momentum in the game, started running for a bunch of yards, pulled him out. Now, David Montgomery only played 13 games, had 225 attempts. Now he's finally in the groove. I was told from an inside source that he's put on 10 pounds of muscle. He's ready to go. He is ready to go, okay? And he's going to get the volume. There's no committee there, and you are getting yourself an RB1 in round 3, which is pretty phenomenal. Now, again, has he wowed us over the past couple years? Not over the top wowed us, but we're going to expect at least 240 attempts, which is something that we love. We love volume from our running backs. We're going to get that. He had one 1,000-yard rushing season in 2020. He had 849 yards last year, only 7 touchdowns. That should go up, okay? He can also catch the ball. So David Montgomery is another safe RB3 that I can get and, combo it with my other 2 running backs as part of a robust RB strategy and feel good in the 3rd round with David Montgomery, all right? So I absolutely love the value, period. Now, you're saying, well, Joe, can you throw me a rookie that you love? Now, there's a bunch of rookies I love because I can get them for value and they could eventually take over. But I'm going to speak about one guy right now. Is Kenneth Walker from the Seahawks. I'm just reading right now, Rashad Penny already and Chris Carson already missing some OTAs with some injuries. Penny, I think he's banged up with his hamstring type thing. So already, guys, we haven't even started the season, and there's injuries going on right now with the Seahawks. So Walker, great talent out of college, going into a situation where, yes, it's a committee. It's not pretty, but Carson coming off a major surgery, I think it was neck surgery. Is Carson going to get back to form? I really, really doubt that he's going to come back to form. That's why they drafted Walker, right? So I'm just pulling it up here. Let me pull it up here. I'm reading the news, man. Carson missing OTAs. And Rashad Penny missed the start of OTAs. So at the end of the day, man, I'm looking at the facts. And I'm seeing an opportunity, a potential for Kenneth Walker to thrive. And he's going to be a great value. And again, Penny and Carson, I just think they suck. I just think they're not good years to wow, so we're not wowed. All right? So that's it, guys. I don't know. I could dive into more running backs I love and sleepers, but I'm going to save that for another episode. Load up. I cannot express to you enough, guys. Load up on running backs early. Go robust RB because it's a very scarce and rare position. Tons of depth at wide receiver, quarterback, and other positions. You need to load up on running backs. And I love the guys that are in committees. I love the guys that are value. I just named off 5, 6 for you as well. Okay, there's some deeper running back sleepers and stuff. Subscribe to the channel. I'll be getting to those as well. And get that 16-round draft, so you should head on over to thefantasyfootballcouncil.com. Click below if you're here on YouTube and use code TUBE20. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you. Subscribe. I'm out.